Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Manish Shrestha, working as Assistant Professor at Haryana School of Business, GJ University of Science and Technology, Hisar. Today, we are going to discuss about the topic performance measurement. Before starting the discussion, let's have a look at the contents. The discussion will start about the introduction of the topic, steps involved in development of performance measurement system, tools for measuring the performance, and it concludes with the summary. By the end of this module, students will be able to understand the relevance of performance measurement for a business, and they get familiar with the various methods of performance measurement. Performance of any organization is dependent upon the performance of its processes. Through measurement of each component of a process, we can identify its effectiveness. Measurement of performance is related to quantification of the efforts made and outcomes in the form of performance. A data-based approach is followed to explain whether the efforts made towards achievement of performance are in right direction as per the expectation of organization goals. Basically, performance measurement presents the health card of performance related efforts in quantifiable terms. Every performance measure carries three characteristics, that is, it can be counted and presented in numbers, includes all the activities performed, and the expected outcome in the form of results. Through measurement of performance, we can understand about the direction and magnitude of improvement. Measurement of performance provides a chance to benchmark current performance and put more efforts to cross them in days to come. Performance measurement is termed as measuring the outcomes of performance efforts for generating insights about the efficiency and effectiveness of any activity. While measuring performance, it is important to understand that the difference between output and outcome. Output is related to delivery of the performance. It happens when certain activities are performed over inputs. Output provides no indication about the achievement of actual results or impact of such output. On the other hand, outcome is related to specific results which are the ultimate aim of the activity. An outcome is actually the result or impact of an output. An outcome could be viewed as an end activity or transitional activity. End outcome signifies achievement of ultimate objective of the program, while transitional outcome explains the achievement of critical milestones during the execution of the program. Performance measures bear certain characteristics such as coverage, usage, and simplicity. Any performance measurement system aims at achieving few objectives such as to provide information and generate awareness about various strategic plans of the organization. It also conveys the ongoing developments happening in relation to the planned activity implementation. Through performance measurement system, a gap between planned and actual outcomes is reported. This input could be used for future policy formulation. Another objective is, through the usage of performance measures, a deficiency in capabilities and areas of development could be identified. Removal of such deficiency could help in further enhancement of outcomes. Performance measurement facilitates reporting of outcomes. The reporting enables the organization to identify the direction in which its efforts are going and whether these efforts are in right direction and in right magnitude. Let's look at some steps in development of performance measurement system. It is important to adopt a systematic approach towards measurement of performance. An organization should develop a performance measurement system by keeping few points in mind. The performance measurement system should be developed in line with the overall business philosophy. The performance measurement system should facilitate a regular feedback about intermittent and end performances. The system must allow to measure the actual performances against the pre-planned outcomes. It must be comprehensive in nature and must encompass all financial and non-financial indicators. It should also include all the critical factors responsible for the success of an organization. Another important point is a high level of commitment of all the level of the organization is required to successfully implement the measurement system. The direction of system must be from top to bottom. It requires the officials at the top level to develop and decide about their performance measures. On the same basis, all the levels till down below would set their performance measures. Top level performance measures also set the parameter for setting all other performance measures of the organization. It is important to keep the rationality intact while framing out a performance measure. Linking rewards with unrealistic measures could result into frustration and demotivation among the employees of the organization. Setting unachievable performance measures affects the trust and honesty related environment in the organization. An effective performance measurement system must chalk a specific mechanism of reporting of results. The mechanism should be simple, clear, and easily understandable. It must also highlight the most important performance indicator. A performance measurement system could be effective only if the organization has clarity about the relevance of measurement quality and performance measurement criteria. Measuring performance with logic without a logic is a futile exercise. As many of the crucial human resource decisions are dependent on the inputs of performance measurement, it is important to keep a check on the measurement quality. It needs to be ensured that the method chosen for measuring performance delivers as per the expectations, captures the difference between performances, offers equal applicability to the concern, and remain categorical. A comparison of results by different methods tells about the reliability. Once a method is reliable, human resource professional could use those performance measurements results. Once a method is reliable, human resource professional could use those performance measurement results to take various important decisions. Another important concern before choosing a method for measuring performance is to select performance measurement criteria. Various performance measurement criteria could be reviewed like production count. Production count simply means the total number of units produced in a given period of time. More number of production count states better performance. Such kind of measure is suitable for jobs which are production related, but an organization have a variety of jobs. Personal data is also used as a performance measure. The data related to employee performance is generated on a regular basis. It depends upon the rater that which data he needs to measure the performance. The rater fixes the measurement criteria and then matches it with the employee's data to measure the performance. Another criteria for measuring performance could be absenteeism. Absenteeism, if properly defined in terms of its scope, is a good indicator of performance. The problem with this criteria is reason for absenteeism may vary, and many a times employees are able to cover up the backlog in due course of time. Work sample approach of performance measurement aims at measuring specific tasks associated with a given assignment. It helps in measuring whether the task is completed as per the requirement and correct behaviors are being followed to complete the task. Tools for measuring performance. An effective measurement of performance indicates that the organization is successful in implementing its strategy. There are various tools available for measuring performance such as control charts, balance scorecards, HR scorecard, graphic rating scale, force choice distribution method, behaviorally anchored rating scales, etc. Control charts. For measuring performance related variation, control charts could be used. Control charts graphically display a sample quality measure in comparison to sample number or time. The chart shows a center line that represents the average value of the quality characteristics corresponding to the in control state. Upper control limits and lower control limits are also plotted. Any values that are plotted outside these upper and lower limits need special attention in terms of identification of its cause. Through the usage of run charts, good performance measures are also checked. The results are observed in comparison to the maiden value. Till the time values plotted are between lower and upper limits, no necessary action is required. Any value plotted outside the limits indicate that system is out of control and needs to be checked. Balance scorecard is a conventional method to measure the performance of an employee or the organization as the case may be. Usage of balance scorecard method allows organizations to improve the clarity of their vision and strategy to translate into action. It links the core financial goals of the organization with other drivers that facilitates in getting a comprehensive view of the organization. A range of performance measures are used to convey organizational goals, and they keep a check on performance drivers in order to attain the strategic objectives. Balanced scorecard considers the balancing of long-term and short-term objectives as well as qualitative and quantitative performance measures. It is about striking a balance between for components namely financial, customer satisfaction, business processes, learning and growth. Financial component includes cost efficiency and delivery of value to the customer. Customer satisfaction component signifies the ability of the organization to offer goods and services to the satisfaction of the customers. Business processes perspective includes data pertaining to the internal results in comparison to the identified measures. Ability to learn and growth signifies that organization is monitoring the performance on all concerned areas and making an effort to improve on educating its employees to do better. Balanced scorecard is a comprehensive method for performance measurement that encompasses the fields like stakeholder expectations, competency assessment, direct and supporting activities, and stakeholder contribution. This method offers holistic assessment and defines an organization-wide matrix. Although having so many advantages, it still suffers from few drawbacks. Implementing balanced scorecard method for measuring performance requires lot of groundwork that makes it complicated. Not all the organizations are having competent people who can understand and implement this method. Also, success rate of this method is not visible to many organizations. HR scorecard method. Just like balanced scorecard, HR scorecard or human resource scorecard method is also popular for measuring the performance in the organization. Specifically, HR scorecard helps in measuring the productivity of human resource department. It considers all the quantifiable areas of human resource departments and grades it. Quantification is common basis on which all the activities in HR scorecard are carried out. It measures the performance of the employees towards achievement of organizational goals. It helps in calculating the cost associated with human resource function of the organization and quantify its distribution to calculate return on investment on human capital. It also guides in attracting and retaining the right kind of people in the organization. A balanced scorecard can be integrated with the overall organizational performance. It helps the human resource professionals in managing their strategic responsibilities in a better manner. To implement it in a better way, it is important to understand the associated deliverables and its place in the overall organizational strategy implementation plans. The graphic rating scale method is not as descriptive as essay method, but highly cost efficient and effective. It is considered as one of the simplest and most commonly used method. Under a graphic rating scale method, list of performance factors is created and each employee is assessed on these factors through a measurement scale. These rating scales are just like 5 or 10 point scales, wherein assigning a rating of 1 to employee performance means poor and a rating of 5 signifies outstanding. The meaning assigned to scale values may differ as per the context of performance factor used for evaluation. Rating scales could also be used to measure behavioral performance factors like cooperation, dependability, and integrity. This method of appraisal is easy to understand, less costly, and less time consuming. The major drawback is reliability of ratings, rating validity, and chances of manipulation. A lot of subjectivity is involved in this method, as rating has different understanding for different people. Forced choice distribution method. To implement this method, a human resource department personnel or an external expert design two groups of statements. The appraiser has to choose out of the available options that describes the employee in a best way as well as least way. The best describing and least describing statement are assigned with suitable weights which is not known to the evaluator. The employees that score high on such evaluation are considered as better employees as compared to the low scoring employees. As the rater is unaware about the weights assigned to a particular statement, any kind of manipulation or bias could be avoided. A rater only describes the employee while a third person evaluates through applying scales on the descriptions. This method is less subjective and reduces the probability of biasness. Just like other methods, it is also easy to understand. On the negative side, the appraiser resists against hiding the weight assigned to a particular statement, as external experts are also required. That makes the method costly in comparison to others. To formulate correctly describing behaviors is a time-consuming and daunting task. It demands special skills on the part of people involved in formulating it. The other method is behaviorally anchored rating scales. This method is also known as BARS. It is an appraisal method that strives to combine the advantages of narrative critical incidents and quantified ratings by anchoring a quantified scale with specific narrative examples of good and poor performance. The steps involved in development of behaviorally anchored rating scales are identifying and recording critical incidents, highlighting effective and ineffective performances, group the identify related incident into smaller set and assign a common name to it, provide this to another set of people to reallocate critical incidents, scale the incidents generally on a 7 or 9 point scale, and finally use 6 to 7 of these key dimensions to develop the final scale. BARS offers various advantages such as more accuracy, consideration of clearer standards, basis for explanations for the feedback, and less chances of biasness as each dimension is independent of the other. Mixed standard scale method is considered as a better method than the behaviorally anchored rating scales. It is capable of removing the drawbacks like error due to influence of a single prominent attribute and error caused due to lenient view of the rater at the time of assessment of performance. In this method, a rater is provided items in a random order. Rater is also unaware about the impact of rating on the final performance evaluation. On the basis of his judgment, the rater has to assign a low, average or high rating to the given items. The rater has to choose the response out of the 3 options, namely performance lower than the item description, fits to the item description, or higher than the item description. This method also helps in identifying the errors created by raters while rating in terms of systematic rating or ambiguous rating. There is an option to use this method for multiple raters. Management by objective is also known as MBO. This method calls for the involvement of employee whose performance is appraised. Under management by objective philosophy, the managers sets the specific measurable goals with each employee and then review the performances at a pre-decided time period. So, in simple words, this method is about jointly setting the goals and providing periodic feedback. Generally, process of MBO involves steps such as setting the organizational goals, setting the departmental goals, discussing them, defining expected results, reviewing actual performances with expected one, and providing a feedback. The MBO method is adopted due to its certain advantage. It connects organizational and individual performances. As it is a joint effort, both the parties understand each other's point of view that eventually reduces number of grievances. It is clearly a performance-based and not trait-based appraisal method. This method also suffers from few drawbacks. It is very difficult to establish a consensus between a manager and an employee on a common goal. Also, it totally ignores traits of the employee that might influence the performance. Overall, it is a time-consuming, lengthy and complicated method to appraise the performance. The 360-degree appraisal method collects information from all the sources that are connected with the employee. A popular way of conducting a performance appraisal would be through all the stakeholders that are connected to the assessee in any manner. For example, a manager can be assessed through immediate boss, peers, subordinates, clients, intermediaries and suppliers. Such an appraisal provides a comprehensive review of the performance and packed with least chances of biasness. This method is an excellent employee development tool that provides comprehensive picture of employees' performance. The credibility of such appraisal is very high as it reduces any kind of biasness. Keeping confidentiality of the feedback by various components is a critical challenge of using this method. To summarize the discussion, performance of any organization is dependent upon the performance of its processes. Through measurement of each component of a process, we can identify its effectiveness. Measurement of performance is related to quantification of the efforts made and outcomes in the form of performance. A data-based approach is followed to explain whether the efforts are made towards achievement of performance are in right direction as per the expectation of organization goals. Basically, performance measures present the health card of performance related efforts in quantifiable terms. Every performance measure carries three characteristics, namely, it can be counted and presented in numbers, includes all the activities performed and the expected outcome in the form of results. Through measurement of performance, we can understand about the direction and magnitude of improvement. A performance measurement system could be effective only if the organization has clarity about the relevance of measurement quality and performance measurement criteria. Measuring performance without logic is a futile exercise. As many of the crucial human resource decisions are dependent on the inputs of performance measurement, it is important to keep a check on the measurement quality. It needs to be ensured that the method chosen for measuring performance delivers as per the expectations, captures the difference between performances, offers equal applicability to all the concerns and remain categorical. A comparison of results by different methods tells about the reliability. Once a method is reliable, human resource professionals could use those performance measurement results to take various important decisions. Happy learning!